Hello again, guys. This is part 2 of our videos. So I'll just make it 10-minute videos to make it easy for you to go through it. So if you remember, we talked about how we can now reference one cell to another, and the beauty about this is that if you wanted to change, since this one here depends on this 12 here, and this one also depends on all these numbers, and if you want to know that, one beauty thing about Excel is that when you click here on this and it has a formula, if you click on the formula bar, it will color code whatever things that create this equation. So this is in blue, so it's 2 times whatever is in H11. Let's look at it another way. I typed here Excel to get out of this formula, and I clicked here. Once I click on this, it tells me that it depends on a blue, a red, a purple, and a green. And if I want to get out, I type escape. So here, if I want to change this 27 and I put here instead 55, so you can notice here directly it will be changed. And that is the meaning of the word referencing. I am pointing to one cell, and if I change the number in this cell, then the result will change. So we've done now the meaning of active cell. We've also given an idea what is cell referencing. Now let's do an exercise just to highlight these two things. How can we do copy and paste functions, and how do we do relative and absolute referencing? There are different ways to copy and paste functions, and we're going to talk also about in the same time how to do absolute and relative referencing. To do this, let's do a very simple exercise. Let's imagine that I have a group of people here. I'm going to do this in the classroom, that I ask each one of you how far is your work or school from home in terms of time. So in terms of distance and time. So let's say here distance. So I'm going to make here a table with the calculation. I'm going to show you also how easy it is to fill a table here. So it's distance and time, and from that we're going to calculate the speed. Okay, and we're going to also do speed in 2 different ways. So distance here is, let's say I'm 65 miles away from work, and I take around 75, or let's put it in hours, 1.25 hours. So my speed, and let's put the speed in mph, miles per hour. Then if I want now to calculate the speed, it's simply distance divided by time. So speed is equal to 65 divided by 1.25, whatever number it is. So that's 52. Let's now have more people. Let's say a number of people in class. Let's make all them in miles per hour. So let's say 2 miles they walk to school, and it takes them about 15 minutes. Well, let's put it just 0.25. Let's make it still in hours. Another person, maybe he lives 10 miles away, and it takes him 30 minutes or 0.5 hours. So and let's do another one here. The person lives probably 75 miles, and it takes him 2 hours to go to school. For me, my speed was 52 miles per hour. And now let's learn how we're going to use. Here we can see we have a function that depends on these two, and I want to create new functions here for the new values. To do it, we have 3 different ways. Or actually 2 different ways, but I say 3. The first way is copy and paste. To copy a value or to copy a formula, you click on this formula and you type Control-C, and it goes into this shape where you have here dotted line that's bold around your number. Or I'm gonna type escape to get out of that, or just go here to copy. So if I click copy, it's now copying this cell here, and then I go to whatever cell I want, and I could do Control-V to paste, or just go here, click on paste. So now this one here depends on these two. So notice something, that whenever I move down, the formula has moved down. So when I moved down, the numbers went from A9, B9 to A10 B10. So here, let me show you again. This is A9 B9, this is A9 B10. And if I copy this one here, and I moved here, since this one depends on the two before it, B9 and C9, because this one was A9 and B9, so it's moved from A to B to C. So whenever I move to the right, everything moves to the right. Whenever I move down, everything moves to down as well. And that's the meaning of relative, this guy here, relative referencing. So this was the first way to do it, by copy and paste, or the first two ways to do it. Is there another way? Yeah, there is a much easier way to do it. So let's delete this one out because it makes no meaning. And if I go here, or chosen these two, and I want to just fill the table, if you notice here, we have this, see this green dot here? This is called the handlebar. If you just pull it down, it will do the copy paste and it will do the relative reference. So let's look here at the equation. A9 B9, A10 B10, A11 B11, A12 and B12. And that is called here relative referencing. Let's figure out a miles per hour. How equal it is in feet per second? Well, we can create a rule, and this rule will tell us, or a number that we can use to calculate this. Another maybe example here is that, okay, we have time here and we want this time to be in minutes. So let's do the following. Let's put this guy, I'm just gonna move it to the side, and let's create our speed, or our time in minutes. And let's calculate our speed in feet per second. So, how many minutes in an hour? We know that we have 60. And this will teach us now, we want to use this 60 and we want it to use it absolutely, meaning we're going to use it for all calculations. What does this mean? We have this in hours, right? 1.25. We want it in minutes. So I'm going to multiply it by this value here. So this is how I'm going to do it. Equals this 1.25 and multiply by, I want to multiply it by this 60, but I want it to be absolute. What do you mean by absolute? When I copy and paste or use the handle somewhere else, I don't want this to be moved. I want to be calculated by 60 anyways. And in this case, I need to use what we call here absolute referencing. Absolute referencing is simply that you want to do this as an absolute. You want this C3 to become C3 wherever. To do this, we use the dollar signs before the C, dollars to make the C stable, doesn't move, and the 3 also stable. To do this, you don't have to type dollar signs. You can do that, of course. You can just go here and before the C type a dollar sign, and here type a dollar sign. Or there is a shortcut for that by typing F4. Look at the C3 in the bar here while I type F4. So when I do this, it put 2 dollar signs before the C and 3. Or if I want just to make the 3 is the one that doesn't move, so the C can go left and right, it will be relative. Or I've typed F4 again, the dollar sign goes before the C, so that it can, the 3 can change, the C does not change, or get back to the previous C3. So if I put here the dollar sign and put enter, so it's 75 minutes. Now if I hold the handle and go down, it will be right in minutes, so 0.25 is 50 minutes. Look here, C3, look here, C3, look here, C3. So the C3 hasn't changed. Let me show you if I did not put the dollar sign, what will happen. So I'm going to go here, type F4, and I'm gonna, let me do again, I'm sorry. So here, I'm gonna type F4, and it's now this without the dollar signs. Now